One more mic check, mic check. Luis, can you hear me? Luis, take care of customer. D, can you hear us okay right there? Is that about the right volume? All right.
Thank you very much.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Coaches Show right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. We're here at Luigi's in Newcastle, Oklahoma. My name's Gene Reed, and this is my partner, my sidekick, a real gentleman, Mr. Gerald Lewis. Gerald, are you ready for a good show tonight?
Yes, sir. Let's talk some Newcastle football.
You can watch the Coaches Show on your smartphone, on your computer, on your tablet, and just look for the OSN app. You can find it on in the App Store. Download it to Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. We're here at Luigi's, as I said, and they serve a special. They offer a special each a game show. I said that last week. Each Coaches Show, and each night. And tonight their special is spaghetti and meatballs.
Yes, sir.
And I think that's one of our
that's one of our favorites.
Right?
But we say that every week.
Yeah, but this
every
time,
week's our favorite.
This time, our spaghetti and meatballs is our favorite. And by the way, it's offered for $11, and you can get here.
Cool.
There's still time for you to come and join us tonight here at Luigi's and enjoy this special and feed you and your family. And you could probably spend less money than I spent at the state fair today.
Yes, sir.
On corn dogs and cinnamon rolls. So
yes, sir.
Come and enjoy with us. This is the Coaches Show. It features Newcastle Racer head coach Jeff Brickman, and when he's not here, he always sends us excellent guests. And tonight we have a couple of the assistant coaches, the Wilson and Wilson.
Yeah.
So Coach Judd Wilson and Coach Jason Wilson will be our guest tonight, plus the most valuable player of the game. So we have quite a few things to unpack, if you
yes,
will.
Sir. Yep.
Now, a couple of things that I'd like to see us cover tonight, Gerald, is just talk a little bit about this district that we're in, a little about the team. We're going to talk about the teams we've played, including especially Friday night against Blanchard, and some of the teams that are coming up, the teams that we will be playing. So, first of all, most of our folks know, but we were somewhat pleasantly surprised to find out that we had grown to the point that we moved from 4A to 5A.
Yes, sir.
So we're now in 5A, and we're in the District 5A1. Gerald, my history with Newcastle goes back, includes 3A, down to 2A, back to 3A,
Yeah.
up to 4A, and now into 5A. So we're a growing community, like it or not.
Yeah,
And,
like it or not, we're progress.
The only thing worse is to be in a non-growing or a community that is shrinking. And some schools
Yep.
around us have gone down in size.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Community, the economy changes and everything like that. So we're in District 5A1, and we'll talk a little bit about the teams that we're in here with. In fact, let's just discuss the schedule. We were talking just before we came on tonight, Gerald, that we're almost third of the way through
Yeah.
our schedule.
Yeah, next Friday is homecoming, and like that's our 5th game, correct? It'll be our 5th game of the year.
We're almost a third of the way through,
Yeah.
and by next Friday night, after
Yep.
that game, we will have been halfway through our
Yep,
regular
already.
schedule. Already.
Yes, sir.
Hard to believe.
Yes,
Hard
sir.
to believe. So we look forward to that. Somewhere I've got my marvelous schedule in front of me. That's not in front of me yet.
Yeah.
But I just want to talk a little bit about the games we played thus far and our upcoming schedule. Now, in District 5A1, we are in a district of only 7 teams.
Yes, sir.
And
Yeah.
normally OSSAA will try to have 8 team districts. We're in a 7-team district. That means we only have 6 conference games or district games.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And so our first 4 games were non-district. And what kind of teams did we choose to play as non-district?
Well, we probably had the hardest non-district schedule in the state.
We did, and we've had Coach Brickman tell us a time or two.
Yep.
He reminded us again in week 1 when he was on the show that the last thing he wants to do is select what I would call cupcakes.
I don't see any on there.
I kind of like cupcakes. I
Right.
like to have those
Yep.
20-0 or 40-0 romps. As a fan, makes me feel good.
Yes, sir.
But it doesn't prepare the team.
No, sir.
And,
Does not.
So he selected, of course, whether he selected or not, we're gonna be playing Tuttle and Blanchard every year.
Yes, sir.
And so they were 2 of the 4 teams, and the game with Bartlesville, and now we got a game coming up with another tough program, Elgin.
Yes, sir.
So our first 4 games are non-district. Most fans, I don't know how to say this. Some are more clear than others. The first 4 games don't really matter in terms of how you do in your state competition. It's those district games.
Right.
And yet we know the first 4 games matter just for the win-loss feeling.
Yes,
and
sir.
also we've played a couple of our greatest rivals
Right.
in the
Yes,
past
sir.
couple of weeks.
Yep.
So, and then, so looking ahead, we've got Elgin coming up for Friday night. We'll talk about them a little bit more toward the end of the show
Yep.
about what we might expect for them. After Elgin is, as you said, our first district game, and it is Duncan, the Duncan Demons. And we don't know a lot about that program. We
Right.
haven't been playing in Class 5A. In fact, we know very little about any of the big programs
Right.
except those that have really gotten a lot of attention because of their
Right.
strength and,
Yes, sir.
and their performance.
Yep.
So next week is, after Elgin is Duncan. Then we travel to Midwest City, a big program up there, the Midwest City Bombers. Then we travel to Classen SAS,
Yes.
and then to Lawton Mac. And I heard Josh and Billy Collier mention on the show Friday night on the OSN coverage. During the month of October, we do not have a single home game. We're away for 3 weeks plus. Interestingly enough, since we began in week 0, we have a bye that week as well.
Right. Yes, sir.
So the month of October, Midwest City, Classen, and Lawton. And then our last 2 games are at home here
Right.
at the Castle against Bishop McGinnis and Southeast.
Yes, sir.
So that's a pretty interesting program or schedule for us. It's interesting in part because we don't know a lot about the teams.
Right.
It's interesting because these are large schools that will be bringing in quite a few fans to
Yes,
watch the
sir.
game
Yep.
and everything. And a couple of them are really strong programs. What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm excited to get into district play, just see how we match up with 5A. I mean, based on what we've seen so far on the field, I think we're going to be ready. Coach Brick and the boys have prepared well, and like you said, with all the scrimmages this summer, bringing in, going against 6A teams and strong 5A teams this summer. It does nothing but prepare your program to play these teams. So we're ready. I think the boys are ready, and I think the boys are anxious to get going.
Like I said, we're going to talk more about Elgin. That'll be an
Yes, sir.
interesting test because of their strength and what they bring to the program. But the first 3 games, Bartlesville, Tuttle, and Friday night was Blanchard.
Yes,
what
sir.
were your thoughts on that Blanchard game?
Well, we lost.
I thought I'd ask you first.
Well, I mean, again, the only thing that matters, honestly, is the score, if you ask the kids. But we did a lot of good things. We had 5 starters out, if I remember correctly. 5 starters out, so our young kids stepped up, and we still had a chance to win the game. I think our coaches put our kids in a position to win, which we've seen every single game. Every single game has been close, even the Tuttle game. But we just got to there's just 1 or 2 plays, it seems to be, that just we can't get over that hump. And our kids play so hard, and it's very, as a fan, it's
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it is, because those kids, man, they work their tails off day in and day out.
Well, last week, coaches Bradford and Bradshaw both spoke toward, the approach we take.
Yes, sir.
And they said the approach we take is we plan to win every game.
Right.
Well, that was saying going into Blanchard. As a fan, I was kind of grimacing because, boy, I knew they were a strong program.
Yeah.
Those boys played to win that game.
Yeah.
They went in with a plan to win the game. And, Gerald, within about 3 minutes left in the game, we were ahead and we were dominating.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. Not only does the boys count on the score, but also the experts down the coffee shop where I enjoy coffee every morning.
The experts at the coffee shop.
They remind me there's only one number that matters, and that's the score.
Yes,
well,
sir.
I acknowledge that, and yet there are some other things that matter.
Yeah.
Pardon me. So my notes is I felt like we really outplayed them. We had more plays from scrimmage. We had 60 plays to Blanchard's 44.
Right.
We had more total yards, 235 to Blanchard's 186. We had more rushing yards.
Yep.
147 to 54 for Blanchard.
Yes, sir.
How about that defense?
Yep.
We had more first downs. We had 14 first downs to Blanchard's 8. We had third down conversions, 5 of 13. Blanchard was 1 of 12 for third down conversions. However, also fewer penalties. I'll add one more. We had some penalties for a total of 25 yards.
Yeah.
They had 7 penalties for 54.
Right.
And then what?
Turnover battle, which we talk about every single week. You cannot give teams like a Blanchard more chances to score. I mean, with the giving the ball back when we get it and they're in a good field position. Yep.
Now those players step up all the time in practice anyway.
Right, which we don't see that.
We don't see that.
Right.
And but when they came in, they did such a great job. And if I start mentioning names, I'll leave someone out. So I won't. I'm just so proud of so many of them. I will mention though what as the coaches and players selected the players of the game for Friday
night.
Sir.
Yep.
And the MVP once again is Taj Smith. So he'll be our guest this evening for one of the segments. Also, Blake Allen, a junior, number 73. He was Offensive Player of the Game. Defensive Player of the Game, Antonio Brown.
Way to step up, Tone. Way to step up.
Tone plays tight end and also some linebacker.
Yep.
And he had some great hits, and he broke through, and he had some great hits, as did Jackson Shaniel, for that matter.
Yep.
The linebacker crew stepped up really, really well. Aiden Elcision he won the Hammer Award, and I think that's one they used to call Bring the Wood. I don't know if that's the same one, but he had some really ferocious tackles and good hits for a loss. And then our special teams player of the game was Rex Heskew.
Yes, sir. Yep.
These guys, along with several other their team members, stepped up, and we're really proud of them. So I think I made a mistake. We didn't make a mistake. I think I made a mistake. But
we're a team.
No, I don't think it's possible. We both could have made this mistake.
No, sir, I did not.
But someone told me that when I mentioned the captains of the team for the year, that I didn't get them all right. and you don't want to do that. You want to
Right.
recognize these guys. So
Right.
my apologies, and I'm not sure which one or two I may have left out, but I think I may have got mixed up a little bit because we'd also been talking about those 5 seniors
Right.
who have been playing together.
Playing together.
But
Yes,
let me
sir.
just recap our captains
Yep.
for this season are number 4 Rex Heskew, number 15 Jackson Shanuel, number 77 Taj Smith, number 5 junior TJ Bradford,
Yep.
Number 43 Aiden Elcision, and number 16 Trey Burchett. So a great bunch of great bunch of captains, primarily seniors
Yes, sir.
with the junior
Yep.
leadership there in TJ. So we're proud of them, and my apologies if I missed one, left one out. So, well, let's talk just. Well, we talked about the captains
Yes,
and
sir.
the players of the game.
Yep.
In fact,
Yep.
let's be a good time to take our break.
Yes,
let's
sir.
take our first
Okay.
break, and when we come back, we'll have Coach. Well, I know we'll have Coach Wilson.
Coach Wilson, but which one?
I think Judd, Coach Judd. So you're watching the Oklahoma Sports Network here at Luigi's, and we'll be right back.
At CFD, our mission is to deliver quality dentistry by providing big practice benefits with a little practice feel. Since 2008, we've updated our look, technology, and have added new smiles to our tenured staff to better care for you right here at home. Convenience for you is one of our biggest goals, and we often provide same-day treatment to minimize your time off work. We are open Monday through Friday to serve you. Visit cfdok.com for details. We look forward to seeing you at our big little practice.
And we are back. This is the Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network. We are at Luigi's here in Newcastle. Not a familiar address to some, but a familiar location. 117 Northwest 32nd Street, just right here in the Tri-City area, just east of Walgreen. And Luigi's is offering a special for tonight. It's $11 for spaghetti and meatballs.
Yep.
We've already confirmed it's our favorite. And it is a great meal. Come in and join us, and we thank you for being part of the show tonight. We just want to welcome assistant coach Judd Wilson. He's assistant head coach, and I just call him the dean of the coaches because he's not the old man, but he's a tenured man, and he may have the age on some people. I'm not going to get into that, Coach. I'll let you do that. But Coach, we know you. A lot of people know you, but just for those who may not, just tell us a little bit about, how long you've been with the Racers and with the Racer program, kind of how you came to be part of the coaching staff, et cetera. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I guess it's been 12, this is my 12th season with the high school staff, and my eighth season, 8 seasons ago I took over the middle school, and I just didn't, coach of one team wasn't enough, so Coach Brickman asked me if I would take over the middle school staff, and I told him, I said, yeah, as long as I could do it my way, I was going to be tough on them, and that's kind of what got me into coaching in the first place. Coach Bowles and Coach Berglund both see me working with younger kids back in the Little League days and all that stuff, and they knew I'd be a good fit. So that's kind of where it started. And then with Coach Brickman, he just needed somebody to take over the middle school program because it was struggling at the time. I think we averaged about 14 players on the 7th grade team, 14 on the 8th grade team. And over the last few years, we've had somewhere between 40 to 50 kids on each team. So building those numbers up obviously is going to help the high school program.
Yeah, because obviously those go on to play. Many of them do. Most of them do go on to play. That's our feeder, for lack of a better term, obviously. So good.
Yeah, I mean, like, Blake Allen, who's here tonight, who was our defensive player of the week. He's one of those kids that you've coached.
Yeah, absolutely.
Since middle school. Now he's one of our starting offensive linemen.
Yes.
So
and
just keep
my last year's senior group was the first year that I was the head coach of the middle school.
Okay.
And so that's kind of how I've always been a part of the middle school, but at a very limited role. Now I kind of get to oversee the middle school and how things are going.
Were you on faculty before coaching, or did you come as a coach?
I started my first year at the elementary, and I was there for a year, and then they asked me to join the high school staff. It was high school staff. Actually, Coach Crosley asked me to coach middle school baseball first.
Yeah.
And so I coach middle school baseball also.
Okay.
And so ever since then, I've picked up something new every year.
So you chose to be tough. Do you have a tough background? I mean, were you in the military by any chance?
Yeah. So I was in the Marine Corps, and so the transition to coaching was easy. As far
for you, not so much the players.
Right. As far as being around young people and wanting them to do their best, I mean, that's something. I was a squad leader in the Marine Corps, and of course you run around, yell at guys all the time, and it's always hurry up, go fast. Mm-hmm. It kind of transitioned to coaching really easy. So.
Yeah, you're really good at that.
Yeah,
you're really good at that. So just kind of expand on that, Coach, a little bit. Like, you're the assistant coach of this. You're the head coach of middle school. What are your game day roles during the game or practices during the week? Because you practice middle school in the morning before school.
Yes, sir.
And then you come to the high school after school and coach that also, correct? Yep. So kind of get us through your day, and then describe your game day role.
So I've always helped with Summer Pride program. I think it's important that the coaches are around those kids, high school and middle school, throughout the summer. You get to kind of build a bond with those guys. And then once the season starts, middle school, we get there at 6:30 in the morning. 6:45, we're headed outside. 7 o'clock, we start practicing. And we go till 8:15, send them back in, they shower, go to class. And then my school day ends at 2:40. And by 2:45, I'm trying to get to the high school, and I'm either in meetings or headed out on the field. So, I mean, it's a full day, but, man, I love doing it. I tell my wife all the time that, I think I'm getting too old. You mentioned being old. I'm the oldest guy on the coaching staff now.
Are you?
If Coach Crosley ever retires, then I'll probably be the oldest guy in the district besides you.
How old are you?
Yeah, I'll be 50 next year.
Dang it.
Yeah.
I am the oldest. How old's Crosley? 67, 80?
Older than dirt.
Yeah, older than dirt. Yeah.
Hey, Coach, we fans, we sometimes dwell too much on the past, even more than the future, maybe. But we've had some tough games. So just talk a little bit about this, the game Friday night, and the takeaways from it, and the learning opportunities, and so forth.
So, I mean, me personally, I hate losing to Blanchard, but they have a great program. I mean, they're the defending state champs. Tuttle, another program that's just they're what we strive to be.
Right.
I mean, when it comes down to it, it was the first year that we played a 6A team. We beat them at home, so we got off to a good start. But the one thing that we always hope is that our kids understand that it's not what you do in these first 4 games. Once district starts, these 4 games prepare you for that.
Right.
And that's really what we've been preaching to the kids, that get better every week, get better every rep, that type of thing. Yeah. And they've done that, like you've seen last week against Blanchard. I mean, it was a great game. It was a fun game to be a part of. And our older guys, along with our younger guys, they'll learn more from a game like that.
Of course.
Than they will from a 49 to 21 blowout or whatever. So.
And that's what Gene was saying. And then, Coach Brickman kind of kicked off the year with all these high scrimmages, with against bringing in 6A schools.
Sure.
And then going to Carl Albert, and then playing this non-conference schedule, will benefit us down the road.
Right.
We may not see it now, and but we just got to stay together and keep working and keep pushing, and then that reward will come.
That's right.
And as circumstances occurred with a few injuries, we had a lot of kids who had to step up, and they did a good job. Do you think?
Absolutely. I mean, you look at a couple. I mean, you got Blake and Taj and Lozano. Those guys have been through the fire.
Yeah.
so you know what to expect from them. But to have guys like the twins, Ashton and Alec,
Yep.
I mean, they stepped up big time this week, and it helps you as a coaching staff because going forward, man, if another guy goes down or there's an injury, you can turn to those guys at any point.
Wow.
And there's a lot more than just those two guys, but those are two that stick out from Friday night.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, Scagnetti had to miss. We had kids step up in that defensive role.
Tucker Brown played lights out. I mean,
He did.
He did a great job. He's itching to get on the field all the time.
All right.
And he's always standing next to Coach Bradshaw, and he's ready to go.
Put me in.
Right.
Good.
And so
That's good.
He did a phenomenal job on Friday night.
Yeah.
Well, let's look ahead. What are some things you're emphasizing? What you got a tough team coming up. I mean, if they're anything like they were last year, it looks like they just are continuing on from a successful year last year.
Yeah.
So they're a strong program, a pretty high-powered offense. We got a strong defense. How do you get the team prepared?
I mean, I think I'm talking to my guys. I coach the defensive line, and so I tell them all the time, this is the game you want.
Yeah.
Going into district.
Right.
It's by far the best offensive line we'll see, the biggest and most physical offensive line we'll see. But I think the defensive line's ready.
Good.
I mean, just watching them the last 2 weeks against two really good teams, they've done a great job. And so on my side of the ball, I just think that getting a good rotation, getting Taj off the field a little bit, giving him a break, and maybe a couple of younger guys stepping up and getting more reps. It's going to be a tough task because we're going to their place, and they like to run the football. If they have success early, that's what we think they're going to do the entire game. They're okay with running the ball and never throwing it if they don't have to.
Really? Okay.
So I think it's a great test for us. Like I say, going into district, they were 11-0 at one point last year, and got knocked off by Claremore.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's going to be a fun one.
Yep.
So I don't know if I mentioned it. We're going to talk about it in the last segment, but they outscored their opponents last year like 12 times.
Oh yeah.
Actually, the first two games they outscored their opponents like 12 times, and during regular season last year, they were like 8 times. Their points for was 8 times over points against.
Yeah.
And so that's a powerful program.
Absolutely.
And by the way, coincidentally, they played in 5A last year.
Right.
And they're back in 4A this year.
Yep.
And we're switching that role with them, so to speak.
Right. And so I just think that they do what they do. They're going to run the football. As long as I've known Elgin, that's what they've done. They run GT counter or GY all the time. And it's a tough thing to defend if you don't have the right guys.
Now tell me what those two plays, formations are.
So it's just they pull their guard and their tight end to the backside. It's a down block. Everybody's pulling around the backside. There's a kick out block.
Put it in motion before or at snap?
On the snap.
Okay.
Yeah. And their running back this year is a physical kid. He's very patient. He waits for the hole to open. So they're going to be a tough team, and it's a great test for us. I'm really excited about it,
Right.
and I think our defensive line is pretty excited about it.
Well, I think they have a pretty large fan base they built up down there, and it's an easy drive. It's right down on I-44. I hope everyone will travel and support the team. If not, we are proud to have Oklahoma Sport Network covering those games at our way. But I think I heard one of them refer to their home field as the Owl's Nest at the Nest. So they'll have the nest buzzing.
Yeah, we've heard that all week. Practice.
Oh,
We're
really?
ready for them. we're coming for the Owls.
Okay, very good. Very good. Well, we'll be playing our fourth game. We've already talked about it before. I'll just ask one more follow-up on this. Teams get better through the year. How do you feel the progression has been these first 4 weeks?
I mean, obviously with the younger guys stepping up and seeing that they can step in and fulfill the role of the starters, I mean, that tells you right there that the growth is there. I think that all 3 phases of the ball is going to get clicking here pretty soon.
Good.
And that's the key. I mean, everybody wants to be, some people say, you want to peak at the right time.
Right.
And I believe in that in football also. Non-district games, they mean a lot. Obviously, playing rivals like Tuttle and Blanchard, that means a lot. But they just prepare you for what you're going to see when you get to district.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
And when you get there, that's when you want to peak. You just want to peak at the right time.
I'm not sure if we ask you your role with the team. I know you're assistant head coach, and what's your positions?
I coach the defensive line, the interior defensive line, the tackles and the nose guard.
Right.
Yeah, and me and Coach Blue, he moved over to the defense this year, so we work together a lot to make sure guys understand spacing and what their role is on every call. So I work with defensive ends, and he works with the tackles. We work together kind of most of the time.
Good.
And so just having a rotation, I coach the defensive line from middle school up through high school.
Well, any more questions for the coach?
No, just kind of coaching from middle school to high school. Are you coaching? I mean, I'm pretty sure you are. I just want the fans to know is we're coaching the same, right?
Yeah,
so they don't get to high school and it's all foreign language to them.
So we use the same verbiage in the middle school at the middle school level. Seventh graders are learning, we'll say 40% of the offense.
Okay.
And we try to throw as much at them as we can defensively. It's just offense is kind of the hardest thing to install. Yeah. And so we do 40% of the offense in the seventh grade, maybe 50% of the offense in eighth grade. And that way, when they get to high school, they're not in shock.
Yeah.
Now, some of the high school kids, they'll go, I never heard that before. I'm like, you heard it for the last 2 years. But,
oh, yeah, that's what that is.
So,
yeah.
Right.
So.
Well, Coach, hey, do you have any do you know this next coach coming up, our next guest?
Yeah, so probably one of the more exciting parts for me this year is I get to coach with my son. When we moved out here, he started third grade at Newcastle, and he's been playing football ever since. He went off and played some football up in Michigan at Davenport University, and now he's coming back, and I get to coach alongside of him.
Good.
Now, it's funny, like during the middle school game, he calls some of the offense, so yesterday we were kind of going back and forth. I like to run the football, and he's kind of like Coach Brick. He likes to throw it.
Yeah.
So, we talk about
he's
that
tied
stuff,
in.
but, yeah, I know. So, yeah, it's a blessing.
Yeah.
All right.
Are you crying?
Yeah.
Are you crying?
Tears rolling, yeah, that's right.
You can't see that, folks. He's crying.
Yeah.
Hey, well, Coach, we're proud to have you today, and we're proud to have Jason on staff, and look forward to having him up in just a few moments. So we'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll have Coach, the other Coach Wilson, with us. You're watching the Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network. And we're back at the Coaches Show on Oklahoma Sports Network here at Luigi's. We are so glad to be here, so proud to be here. And I didn't mention it, but Coach Wilson, we like him because he's a good coach, but he's also part of the family here at
Family,
Luigi's.
yeah.
And we love being here. And some of the best Italian food this side of the Atlantic. We're proud of that. We've got a good crowd here tonight. Everyone have a good time so far? Making some noise. All right. Thank you. Thank you. We're glad to have everyone here. And Gerald, introduce our next guest.
So this young man I've known probably 12 years, more than that, a little bit more than
13,
that.
yeah.
My son and Jason graduated together, played baseball together. This is the real Coach Wilson. So this is the real Coach Wilson. But Jason's good to have you tonight. For those of you who do not know you, just give us a little background of your high school, and then what did you do after high school, and what brought you back.
I'm Jason Wilson. I graduated from Newcastle in 2020. I played for Coach Brickman. His first year at Newcastle was actually my sophomore year.
Okay.
In 2017, so I played for him 2017, 2018, 2019. I played tight end for him here,
Yep.
and that's what I coach. And I played D end for him. And then after that, I went to college to play tight end.
Where did you go to college?
I went up to Davenport University up in Michigan.
In Michigan.
Yes, sir.
Why
Under-
Michigan?
They gave me the most money out of high school. So
There you go, folks.
That's
Okay,
about
and now you're back. How long have you been back?
I've been back for a couple months. I got back in April.
Okay,
I finished my bachelor's in April and
very good.
back full-time coaching.
Okay, so up there, Davenport, Michigan, and I know, because I hang out with your family a lot and, going back and forth and all the things that you went through up there with being the tight end, being in a college program,
Yeah.
and you learned a lot.
Yes, sir.
Because you were technically a graduate assistant up there, correct?
Yes, sir. So
Okay.
my first 2 years I played on roster, and then my last 2 years I was grad assistant. Yes, sir.
Cool. Yeah.
For staff.
Yeah.
So it was really cool getting brought in on staff. So my senior year we had got approved for instant replay on the sideline.
Oh, wow.
So that was one thing I got to
Yeah.
Run for us. On the
That's pretty
sideline.
neat.
Yeah. it was
So,
cool.
so everything that you learned up there in Michigan, which is probably not a lot because it's Michigan, right? And then, so what are you bringing back with you to give to these high school kids now? And also, if they don't know, you're also the assistant middle school coach.
Yes, sir.
So what do you how do you relate to those kids?
Well, I think I relate to him pretty well because I can bring a lot of energy on the field. I was laughing because one thing my dad said earlier was he's older and it wears him out being out there doing both.
It's the knees, man.
All right, yeah. Getting out there and being on the field with these guys and running through drills,
Yeah.
actually being able to, actually run through the drill
Yeah.
full speed if I wanted to show them is really cool to do with those guys.
Plus, you know how to call passing plays in middle school too, right?
Absolutely.
We're not
yes,
going to
sir.
run the ball every time, are we?
Yeah,
Got to throw it, coach.
Are you
Got
are
to.
you are you glad to be back in Oklahoma?
I am. I love being back. I'm glad to be away from the cold weather up there in Michigan for sure.
Yeah.
So I don't think I can show that. Well, I'll hold it up. But I found a couple of pictures out of our game program back in 2020, and there Jason is, graduated in 2020, played his senior year in 2019, wore number 20, graduated in 20. But you also wore a different number a year or two, right? What was that other number you wore?
Yeah, so I've actually played all over the field for Coach Brickman.
Yeah.
My sophomore year, I was number 50. I played middle linebacker for him and O-line. And then my junior year, I was more of an offensive guy. I played right tackle for us, so that's where that 50 comes in. And then
No 50.
my senior year was D-end and tight end, like I said. So, yeah, and then it was number 20.
So go ahead, Gene.
Well, I was going to say, going back to going back and forth a little bit, but back to your age, your youth. Does that help you with the players? Does it help you or hurt you any? And then also maybe with the other coaches.
I would say with the players being 22, I mean, I'm only 4 years older than some of these guys, 18, and then even the 19-year-olds, I'm 3 years older than.
Yeah.
So showing them that I care and being out there and, like I said, bringing the energy every single day is one thing I try to do to get those guys to listen to me, to buy in. I think that is one thing that I've seen at the college level is like our coaches, they try to say, practice what you preach. So if I'm not going my full speed and putting the most effort into whether it's plays or in practice, they don't have any reason to do that either. So.
Yeah, because sometimes, Gene, out there, because I coach cross country also at 7 a.m. At the middle school, and they're out there at middle school practice, and I'll hear this voice just hollering. I'm like, that sounds like Coach Judd Wilson. I turn around, it's Jason.
Oh my gosh.
Wilson. Judge is back there just like this. Yeah. And Jason's going through the drills, getting the boys going, moving around. So being the newbie, being the kid, being the rookie.
Yeah.
Do you have to do rookie duties?
Yeah, I'm on laundry duty, and that's
laundry duty.
That's like the biggest rookie duty you can have, or stats. Stats and film.
Okay.
So Coach Blue, he's over the film and all that, so I don't really have to do much. The one thing I have got to add to the staff is we use a drone now for our practice.
Yeah.
So
are you behind that?
I am.
Very good.
I brought that down from. That's one thing I learned up in Michigan.
Cool.
Up there, so I get to use that here.
That is pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, your dad was feeling pretty good about assigning you with the laundry duties and stuff. 'Cause a lot of things he had done for so long. One other question I had is, has the game changed much since your sophomore year and now that you're back? I mean, you're watching the Racers, high school football at Newcastle. Do you see much changed?
I would say it's a lot faster than when I was here. Yeah.
Meaning.
I would say the skill players wise, like the speed at what they play. I feel like our guys are playing a lot faster than what I used to. Especially once I got to college, I really saw the best of the best.
Right.
That really opened my eyes.
Yeah.
Especially being in 5A.
And the play calling and the signaling has been working really well, it looks like, for the Racers. You see it on all teams, but whatever the scheme is, and I believe I've heard the assistant coaches, Coach Ketch and Bradshaw, they were talking about getting better and better, getting that language so everyone could understand it. So I think that speeds it up.
Absolutely. And I think one thing that helped too was, if you notice, we went back to huddle. We're huddling now.
Yeah.
So I think that's helped, especially our pace too throughout the game. I think that's helped us a lot.
And I think that's we have a lot of players that never leave the field. So that helps them get at least a little bit of rest to keep them fresh and keep them injury free. And I think that's a huge deal. So
absolutely.
Well, let me put you on the spot and ask you if do you have long-term plans, long-term goals, or are you just in the here and now for now? I mean, what do you see in your future?
So right now I'm working on my master's, as well as coaching. So after that, I plan to teach and coach at Newcastle. Would be the plan.
Great.
Yes,
which is what you're doing now.
Coaching,
yes. Yeah.
Not in the teacher role.
Where are you taking your master's from? Where are you doing your master's?
Southeastern.
Southeastern. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Good.
Very
Yes,
good.
sir.
That's good, man. That's
Yes,
awesome.
sir.
Well, any messages for what's your message to the fans about this game coming up Friday night?
Be careful. Be careful, young blood.
Show up and show out for the Racers. We had 2 tough past games, big rivalries. But this next one, I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
I'm excited to play the Elgin Owls. If you don't remember, my last high school game was actually versus Elgin. So
I don't remember that.
It was, yep. We went down to their place in 2019.
Did we prevail?
We did not.
We did not.
We did
Way to
not.
go, Gene.
Hey, no,
By a field goal,
that's where his heart's going to be,
Yeah.
looking for
Exactly.
the big win.
Yes, sir.
Well, Jason, we appreciate you, and we hope to get to see you back here either this season or some of the seasons to come. You're a great guest. We love having you back. I know the family loves having you back.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
we've had a good crowd here tonight. A lot of the players have come in, a lot of our fans. We're graced with the presence of Dr. Kathy Walker. She's one of our favorite fans to come in and join the show for us, and she's all in anyway. So this is just second nature to her. We appreciate having her here, and we're going to take a break here. And when we come back, we're going to have the most valuable player, least of Friday night's game. Who would that be?
I think it's Little Taj Smith.
Little Taj Smith.
Little Taj Smith.
You're watching the Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
How do you ignite minds, inspire curiosity, fuel the explorers and innovators? How do you instill a lifelong love of learning? You give our Oklahoma schools and teachers, and most important, our kids, what they need. That's why the people of Oklahoma Oil and Natural Gas have contributed over $2 billion to education in the last decade, so our students have the opportunity to improve our future and theirs.
Coach's Show here at Luigi's in Newcastle. What a great place to have a Coach's Show.
Yes, sir.
And a great place to come and eat. Good for lunch.
Yep.
For lunch today, they must have had 35 or 40 guests come
Yep.
in. The Chambers of Commerce
Yes,
from
sir.
3 different
Yep.
communities. Just another sign of how much people love coming to
Yep.
Luigi's.
And they had 5 more because I was here.
Oh, you
also.
were here
Yeah.
too? Okay. Well, very good. Well, we sure enjoy the food and the service here and appreciate them hosting. Taj Smith, our most valuable player. He was MVP last week. Welcome back, Taj.
Welcome
we
back.
appreciate it.
Good to be back.
So we asked before, so
Yeah.
we've said this 2 weeks now. Gerald and I was wondering what all goes into selecting MVP, and we asked Trey. We thought it might be just good looks, and then we asked you, and we thought it must really be based on good looks. And now they've already set the record. They can't bring anyone else
Right.
in. It's got to be
Sorry.
Taj. So
He set the mark.
That's the
He
mark.
set the mark.
Benchmark is set high.
Yeah, it's good.
So welcome back, Taj.
Good to be back.
So, did you come off the field at all Friday?
5 plays,
5 plays?
not
mean-
including special teams.
Not including special teams.
That means 61 plays.
Yeah.
Because we played 66.
He knows that.
Wow.
So, pretty cool.
No. I came off all on defense.
Yeah, one thing we kind of want to touch on, which we touched on with the other coaches, is we had 5 starters out.
Yeah.
5 starters. And that gave the opportunity for those younger kids to step up and come in. And just talk about, as the senior, as the leader of that team, when you see those kids step up, how's that make you feel?
For what was really special to me was just working next to Garrett Pratt.
Garrett
He
Pratt?
Yeah,
Okay.
he really stepped up well when Lozano went down. And then Ben, he had a couple setbacks, but other than that, I'd say he had a pretty good game.
Yeah, he did.
Colton Bradley had a really good game, and then Tucker Brown had an amazing
Tucker
game.
Brown, yep.
Trying to think who else.
Antonio on defense.
Oh,
He
yeah.
had some good
Yeah.
hits on linebacker.
Yeah, Tone, he had a great game too.
Yeah.
Like overall, it was just like everyone that stepped up, they really came and played.
Right. Ashton was mentioned earlier. The risk of mentioning names is we don't miss some, and we're in trouble. But we're just proud of all those who stepped up, and that's valuable as the season goes on, right?
Because we need, going into this district schedule against these teams, the depth I think is going to help us, and then the experience that those kids got Friday night, that's going to help them even further down the road. So I think we're ready.
And I want to have you push your microphone a little bit closer there so we can hear that great voice of yours. And so, speaking of the new players, do you spend? Do you have to do some coaching or communicating on the field a little bit more so if they're young players like that? Or I didn't see a lot of that, but they were either in position or you're able to kind of share that.
For me, since I'm working next to Garrett, or I was working next to Garrett last week, he's already there. Like, I just know what's going on. Like, I can trust him to know what's going on.
Good.
And then, obviously, if he has a question, I can just give him an answer.
Okay.
That's good.
Communication's really good, too.
Good. You told us last week, but tell us again your responsibility on the team.
On
Or plural probably responsibilities, right? Yeah, defense.
Yeah, defense first. Just take up blocks. Like, let our linebackers run free. Every now and then, I might be able to squeeze through, get a tackle. That's not my job. And then on offense,
you tie up the blockers. All right, good.
And then on offense, I just block for the quarterback. I block for his blind side. Try to get some movement for the running backs.
So you've used that term last week, protect the quarterback. That's what you enjoy. I asked you if what do you like most, defense or offense, and you said offense. And my job is to protect the quarterback. A lot of fans will understand what we saw the movie Blind Side.
Yeah.
Is that kind of the connection there? Tell us what it means to protect. I mean, everyone's trying to protect the quarterback, but you seem to emphasize some special part of that.
Mostly just because me and Jackson have grown up our entire lives together.
Okay.
We started off playing on the same team, and then baseball, when we were younger.
Yeah.
And then as we grew up, we ended up playing against each other. And then when he came back to Newcastle, 7th grade year, and he played football, and we played basketball and baseball together. It was just something special. And now I get to block for him.
Okay. All right.
It's just a great connection, really.
It is good. You're a 4-year starter.
I am.
How has the team changed? I mean, I don't know if that's even a good question, but it came to my mind. Have you seen the team change a lot in 4 years, or just gradual improvement, or what?
Very different with coaches. Like Brick, our freshman year, he's changed a lot. If you go look at our offensive schemes, everything, a lot has changed. Our defensive schemes has changed. The players, like my freshman year, they're all really all outgoing. They were talkers. They didn't, and then they try to go do more than what they could.
Yeah.
And then the guys this year, I mean, some of them they'll talk and then they'll be verbal, but other than that, it's just mostly action.
Good.
They'll just go out and try to prove what they're trying to say.
All right.
Good.
So what are you thinking about coming up Friday night? What's your confidence level?
Pretty high. I'm really confident. We have a really good team, really talented team. They're obviously really good. They're really talented. It's going to be a good game. We just got to go out and play.
Yeah.
Well, we know we've learned from the coaches the way the recognition is made among players is not necessarily the big hits that we see or the big runs or the big plays. They grade each individual, and Taj has graded out several times as being among the highest graded for performing all of his duties. So we congratulate you for that.
Thank you.
And whether we see you here or not, as MVP, we're just proud of everything you do for the team. You're great. You're a great one for us to watch, and we just wish you the very best. So, any final questions for Taj before we break?
No, just Taj. I mean, this is, you got, your senior year. You've been here 4 years. You've been in 4 years program. You've been in the baseball program for 4 years. Talk about maybe just a couple highs, great moments that you've had within this community. Because as the community, as Gene and I can speak, is we love watching you. I think I love you playing baseball more than I do football, especially in the playoffs last year when you hit that home run against Blanchard.
Yeah,
remember they were talking smack to you and you pow. Yeah, I went yard on them. Yeah, that was great.
That was gonna be one of the moments. I'll just pick one from probably every year.
Get that microphone.
Goodness.
You're so soft spoken, man.
Sorry, dude. I'll probably pick one from every year. My freshman year definitely just have to be my first start.
Okay.
It was against Blanchard. Played them last Friday. It was a great game if you watched it. Sophomore year would most definitely have to be when we went in the Dover overtime against Bethany.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then my junior year, that's a tough one. not much happened my junior year.
Well, we went
Actually,
to the
no. Actually, probably,
playoffs.
it'd probably be the Bethany game.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, second round, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's just another game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'd probably be Bethany
Okay.
my junior year because that was just like the fans were in it, everyone was in it.
Yeah.
Like everyone that was there, everyone was loud.
Yeah, that was good.
The players that were that are usually just quiet were in the game.
Yeah.
Like it was just something special. And then this year, so far, definitely have to be the Tuttle game.
Yeah.
Probably.
Your best moment's coming, bro.
Yeah.
It's coming.
It's loading.
It's loading.
It's
Loading.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
And I hope you're handling your fame and everything well from being on the coaches show and
Yeah.
everything. So we wish you the best of luck. And again, thank you for being here. We're so proud of Taj and the entire Racer program. Just want to see continued great success. We'll take a break now. Gerald and I will come back and yak it up a little bit about this upcoming game with Elgin. And you're watching the Coaches Show here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
At CFD, our mission is to deliver quality dentistry by providing big practice benefits with a little practice feel. Since 2008, we've updated our look, technology, and have added new smiles to our tenured staff to better care for you right here at home. Convenience for you is one of our biggest goals, and we often provide same-day treatment to minimize your time off work. We are open Monday through Friday to serve you. Visit cfdok.com for details. We look forward to seeing you at our big little practice.
And we are back at the Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network here in Luigi's. Glad to have you back. We've had a good number of folks here, including
That guy.
that guy right there. Hey, we're having a good time here. We've got a lot of people joining us here, having their dinner here at Luigi's. Gerald, we got
Yes, sir.
we got a big game coming up.
Another one.
We've covered it all. It's a non-district. It doesn't count toward district play, but it's a preparatory game.
Yep.
It means a lot. It's going to mean a lot. Coach Judd said, this is the one. This is the one you want to
Yeah.
win, getting ready
Yeah.
to go into district play, right?
Yes, sir.
So what do you think keys to the game for the Racers?
Well, I mean, every week we sit up here and talk about the keys of the game, and it's just, of course, we always talk about the turnover battle.
Mm-hmm.
We always talk about, protecting our quarterback, controlling the line of scrimmage. And with a team like Elgin who likes to run the ball and their big offensive line, we've got to be able to get some stops on the defense. We got to, if we can't match up man-to-man, we just need to try to out-scheme them and just stop the run. If we can stop the run, we will be successful.
Well, I like the confidence of the coaches, and I think that Taj has probably reflected what most of the players say.
Right. Yes, sir.
We're ready for this. For lack of a better term, regroup and get stay focused.
Right.
I don't think that we became discorded or broken.
Right.
But just the fans just want to see the team
Right.
feel good about going into it, continue to improve the quarterback, as you said, and to get a balance between a rush and passing
Yes,
game.
sir. Yeah.
It's time
Yeah.
for the passing game to start clicking. We'll enjoy that.
Yeah.
Listen, Elgin is off to a great start.
Yep.
For our fans who think little Elgin, a little school down there on I-44. It's been growing. It's a big part of the
Yep.
Lawton, Fort Sill economy. A lot
Yep.
of residents there. It's growing, and they've had they've been building up to some good football years. And last year they outscored their opponents 86-7. Excuse me.
That's this
At
year.
the beginning
Yeah.
of the season, 86. Their first two games,
Yeah.
they outscored their team 86-7. And during the regular season games, they outscored their competition 545-71.
Yeah,
so
they
that's
went undefeated.
Undefeated.
Yep, yes, sir.
And when they did lose, they lost 7-6.
Yeah, in
They
the
lost by 1
second
point.
round of the playoffs.
Second round of the
Yep.
playoffs, and to a team that went on to lose to Del City. So it's
Yeah.
a strong program. Running back Rhett Meyer, I think, is the name that goes with that
Yeah.
big running back that Coach Judd was telling us about. Trace Laura is a 3-year starter at quarterback. He's
Yep.
gonna be strong. He's got some good wide receivers, and they have a big old tight end, number 88, that they use really effectively as well. I think
Yeah.
Coach alluded to that. So it's going to be a strong program, but so is Newcastle a
Yeah.
strong program. So make that drive down I-44. It's before you even it's after you get to Chickasha, another 20 miles or so into the Elgin exit. It's an easy drive.
Easy drive.
So we need to get down
Maybe
there.
an hour, maybe a little bit less.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on the season thus far, or on our fans for that game?
No, just our boys play hard every single down. There's no quit. There's no stop. We're preparing for that district play coming up. Friday is going to be a monster, but our boys are ready. Coaches have them prepared, and I'm just excited to see what we're going to do Friday night against them.
As Coach Brickman said, he wants a team that other coaches can say they played hard and they
Yep.
were well coached.
Yep.
And our young men have been playing with class too, and that means a lot to me. I really love seeing the tough, hard competition, but done with class as well. So next week we'll be back on Tuesday night. 1 week from tonight, we'll be talking about the Elgin game and the upcoming game with Duncan. The Duncan Demons will be coming to Newcastle the next Friday night, and that will be our homecoming.
It'll be our homecoming.
Homecoming parade that day.
Yep, yes, sir.
We're all excited about that.
Yep.
It's a great thing for our community, and then a great homecoming game against Duncan. So with that, we will see you next week. You've been watching the Coaches Show here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. We're proud to have you watching, proud of all the sponsors, and we're really proud of Luigi's. With that, good night.
Good night.